In this video, I'm going to be reacting to a video entitled, Why Tesla Will Not Sell 20 Million Vehicles in 2030. No, make that never. I had a bunch of DMs, people asking for me to react to this video, so I thought, why the hell not? By the way, this is a video from Autoline Network. I've seen some great content from these guys back in the day, especially some really interesting discussions between these folks and Sandy Munro after tearing down Tesla's Model 3 and so on. I've got a great deal of respect for these folks. I've got a strong feeling that unless the title is amazing clickbait and this isn't actually what they believe, I may disagree with a few points in this video, or maybe they'll have such compelling points here and such logical arguments that I'll be like, you know what? Great point. No chance Tesla ever sells 20 million vehicles per year. The caveat there being, of course, if this video turns into, they're just going to make a robotaxi network and not sell the vehicles to customers, I can actually see where that argument might make sense. Otherwise, I do think there's going to be some pretty heavy disagreement. So let's get into it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store, so check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. Alright, it's time to watch why Tesla will not sell 20 million cars by 2030. No, make that never. Look at that, I'm going to be the 10,000th view for this video. Imagine that. Alright, let's get into it.
Hi, John McElroy here, talking all things automotive. You know, Elon Musk has a habit of overpromising and under-delivering. The good news is that ultimately, he almost always does deliver.
Spot on. Well said.
But not always. For example, he's been promising full autonomous driving for years. But every year, he keeps pushing back the deadline to next year. So the robotaxis that were supposed to be here in 2020 still have not. I think the same thing's to happen with Elon's boast that Tesla will sell 20 million cars a year by 2030. I think that's a physical impossibility by then.
This, John, is a very large claim. I look forward to hearing how this makes sense. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy or a shoo-in. In fact, Tesla's aspirationally aiming to sell and produce 20 million vehicles in 2030. They acknowledge they may not get there, but that is their goal. So I'm interested, why is this a physical impossibility? Surely this isn't going to be about battery materials, is it?
And in fact, I don't think it's ever going to happen, and here's why. Last year, Tesla made nearly 1 million cars with only 2 assembly plants. That's not impressive. It's beyond amazing. This year, Tesla opened up its plants in Berlin and Austin, and they're going to easily double the company's production capacity when they get up to full line speed.
For stage 1 of each, again, we've discussed this. Berlin, long-term, 2+ million vehicles alone, which would literally double Tesla's production capacity. Never mind Austin, probably 2-3+ million vehicles total. Plus we know Shanghai's expanding as well. Just from the existing facilities we know about, Tesla easily 5-6-7+ million vehicles per year when they're fully built out. So that's already a third of the way there to that 20 million vehicle target.
Probably sometime early next year. On top of that, Tesla says Giga Shanghai and Giga Austin are both going to be able to crank out 2 million vehicles a year apiece. So once it gets to that level, Tesla will have the capacity to make 5 million cars a year. That would make it bigger than Mercedes, BMW, Honda, Nissan, Renault, and even Ford.
This is true. I'm wondering if there's a but, or if John's just pointing out that these are the numbers. And again, this is going to be 5 to 7, maybe 8+ million among all of these facilities when you factor in new efficiencies in production, getting more out of the same factory footprint by deleting parts, processes, robots, and so on. It's extremely likely when they are absolutely fully built out. Fremont plus Shanghai plus Berlin plus Austin, between them will be 7-8+ million vehicles per year. It'll take a while to get there, but I genuinely believe these numbers.
And I do believe that is possible. Those automakers should be quaking in their boots. But to go from 5 million a year to 20 million by 2030 is more than just a stretch goal. It's a near physical impossibility.
Here we go again with that physical impossibility. I'm really looking forward to learning what is this constraint that makes this literally impossible.
Even though Tesla seems to be able to build new assembly plants faster than other automakers, it still takes it 3 years to go from site selection to line speed. Yeah, you can put up the steel infrastructure in the walls and the roof in record time, and you can get the machinery into the plant quickly, and then have a drive-off ceremony where you declare the plant officially open. But to get up to line speed takes everyone, even Tesla, about a year. So Tesla needs to add 15 million units of manufacturing capacity in the next 7.5 years if it wants to get to 20 million units by the end of the decade.
Give or take, this is approximately right. Like I said, I think a few more million from Berlin, Austin, and Shanghai combined, but yeah, close enough.
And since it takes 3 years to go from site selection to line speed, that means the last of its new assembly plants would have to be site selected by 2027.
Give or take, relatively fair. I don't disagree with anything particularly here yet. We've still got almost 2 minutes left.
That's only 5 years away. So let's assume Tesla can boost production in Shanghai and Austin to 2 million a year apiece. That means it could make 5 million vehicles using only 4 assembly plants. So if it wants to make 20 million vehicles, that means it needs 12 more assembly plants. And it's only got 5 years to do that, meaning it should have already started.
Okay, we're running into our first issue with reasoning here. I think John is forgetting about, unaware of, or not really understanding how exponential growth works. We'll cover this more in just a moment.
But to give the company the benefit of the doubt, let's say all of its plants going forward will be like Austin and Shanghai and capable of making 2 million cars apiece.
This is a reasonable assumption. I think the minimum viable size for any Tesla factory in the future, absolute minimum viable size, is at least 500,000, more likely 1 million units, and I think the ideal number closer to 2.
Well then, it needs the equivalent of 7.5 giant assembly plants. 7.5 plants in 5 years' time. Again, it would have to start building them almost immediately to hit its goal by 2030. I don't believe it can do that. But for argument's sake, let's just say it can. And then the question becomes, can it sell that many?
This is a good question. Let me know, what do you guys and girls think in the comments below?
Gotta tell you, I just got out of test driving the Kia EV6, and it's a real compelling electric car. Tesla has not faced much competition so far.
We're not doing this, are we, John? We're not up. We are. Oh God, here we go. Believe we're about to hear that the competition is no longer coming all over itself, but in fact coming for Tesla. Finally, after 12, 15 years of apparently coming and never arriving.
And I'm not saying that the EV6 is a Tesla killer, because it's not. But it is a compelling EV that's going to capture a lot of buyers. And as other automakers come out with compelling electrics in market segments and price points where Tesla does not compete, they're going to grab a lot of buyers too. And while I would never underestimate what Tesla can do, this idea that it's going to be selling 20 million electric cars a year by the end of the decade, it's just not credible. In fact, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Wow, big call. Not ever going to happen. Now, first of all, I mean, the whole competition is coming laughable at best, really. In order for credible competition to arrive, automotive manufacturers need to innovate significantly faster than Tesla has already just to catch up to where they are today. And Tesla continues to improve. And it's not just about, does it look nice, does it perform okay, is the price okay? It's also about, is this sustainable from a business point of view? Tesla is selling electric vehicles with 30% gross automotive margins to consumers for a lower price than most other companies are able to make an electric vehicle at this point in time, meaning they either have a 0% margin and don't make money, or they need to sell them significantly higher. This isn't sustainable. And of course, as these EV makers scale, more production drives costs down, but Tesla's continuing to increase their scale massively as well, and they're moving faster than any other company on the planet. Let's see how I think Tesla can get to 20 million vehicles sold per year by the end of this decade. Here's a quick look at my current work in progress estimates for Tesla production in my bull case. This is what produces my Tesla bull case price target. This is also included in my Tesla valuation model. I just want to give you guys an example of what it could look like if Tesla gets approximately to 20 million vehicles produced by 2030. This isn't a forecast of what will happen, but I just want to show you some of the errors in the thinking we just heard. Notice these factories, TBD. One factory announced in 24, 2 in 25, 2 in 26, and guess what? We can actually get to in excess of 20 million vehicles produced. Now let's have a look at these. This is assuming that the factory capacity is on average about 2.4, 2.5 million vehicles of total capacity. Let's just play along at home here. All Tesla would need to do, literally, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new factory announcements between 24 and 26. each with capacity by end of decade on average of about 2.4 million across all of Tesla's facilities. Bam, 21.7 million vehicles delivered. You may question, is this realistic? Is this improbable? And I would push back and say the question really, is this impossible? And the answer is obviously not. I just want to show you guys and girls what the ramp of these future hypothetical factories might look like. We'll concentrate on a factory I expect to be announced in 2024. The site's probably selected this year or next in 22 or 23. Announced in 24, construction begins. First year ramping up, 200,000 vehicles delivered. Second year, 680,000 vehicles delivered. By the way, if you're curious about these numbers and how realistic they are or are not, just refer back to the Shanghai ramp. This is not unrealistic. Year 3, 1.16, year 4, 1.6, year 5, 2.12, and year 6, 2.6 million vehicles. Same ramp speed for every other factory. That's all that Tesla requires. That's literally it. Now again, I'm not saying this is exactly what will happen, but I'm just saying, look, if Tesla does this, 20 million vehicles delivered in 2030 is in the fucking bag. Now, the other argument, of course, will be, could Tesla actually sell that many vehicles, period? And obviously, this is up for debate. And I hate to be so obnoxious about this, but I find it kind of stunning that anybody could think that this isn't possible. You know, Tesla needs 20,000 different models to ever possibly sell that many vehicles. This is some 3IQ thinking right here. Let me just give a semi-relevant example. Imagine it's 1960, and you're talking to somebody who's claiming that there's a computer company that's going to make these smaller, more affordable personal computers, and everybody's going to have one in their homes. There'll be hundreds of millions and eventually billions of personal computers. And of course, the argument, there's no way, man, there's not demand for that. No one's ever sold that. I mean, these things are expensive, they don't work very well, blah, 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 blah. Next minute, most people have more than one computer in their homes. EVs are still in that early stage. The price of these things is going to plummet as production expands globally. Shout out to Wright's Law. So let's look at my own assumptions. A worst case and a best case for how many vehicles Tesla could possibly sell in each price range. These are also available in my Tesla valuation model, which is exclusively on Patreon for investor supporters and above. Here's my estimates for Tesla's total addressable market per vehicle based on price point in my base case and a bear case as well. We can see a total of 30 million vehicles of total addressable market for Tesla. Worst case, still 20 plus million. Now let's break these down. These are my assumptions. Can't wait to see how these panned out in, say, 2030, 2032 or so. Somebody set a reminder, check back in a decade. I believe that Tesla's Model 3 and Model Y, Tesla will drive the base price on these both down to $35,000 or less over time. Not tomorrow, but over time. I believe that Tesla in total will sell approximately 4 million Model 3 and Model Y combined per year, with a base price of $35,000. And in the bear case, I've just shaved that down by a third, still over 2.5 million units, which is close to where we already are today. This is ridiculously low. Cybertruck, I think with a base price of 45,000, maybe even 50,000, easily 1+ million vehicles per year. Worst case, bear case, call it 660,000. The Tesla Q, which I've dubbed it because this is the thing that really ends Tesla Q for good, a $25,000 vehicle. The market for this thing is easily 10+ million units per year. Now some people might go, hang on a minute, if Model 3 and Y is 35 and this is 20, really? Triples the addressable market? Yes, it does. You see, the thing is, a linear decrease in the price of a vehicle creates an exponential increase in demand. If you're not sure about this, go do some homework and find out how many vehicles per year worth over $1 million are sold. Cut it in half. How many over $500,000? Cut it in half. How many over 250K? Cut it in half. How many over 125K? Cut it in half. How many over 60K? Cut that in half. How many over 30K? Cut that in half. How many over 15K? You'll notice an exponential increase in the number of vehicles sold as the price drops in a linear manner. I also believe that toward the end of this decade, Tesla will be able to produce a vehicle, a compelling vehicle, for about $12,500 with a 30% margin. That means they could be selling it for $18,000. And again, if you disagree with this, if you don't think it's possible, I refer you once again to Wright's Law. At this point in time, it looks like for every cumulative doubling of EV production globally, prices fall by 20 or more %. Do the math. This is not unrealistic. At this point, the addressable market for a vehicle that's being sold to customers with a base price of $18,000 is easily 15+ million vehicles per year. I've also got a Tesla van in here doing 250,000 units a year in the best case, 165,000 worst case. Again, this is conservative. Tesla Semi in here, another 250,000 units, and the SNX, maybe 200,000 sales in total per year, best case, 132,000 combined in the worst case. And look where we get to. We've got 30 million units in the best case, 20 million in the worst case. No one has ever sold this many units of a single vehicle before is not a valid argument, but if you can somehow explain why a compelling, safe, economical, environmentally friendly, technologically advanced vehicle being sold for $18,000 to consumers that represents far better value than anything else ever sold in that price range by miles, if you can somehow justify and explain to me why there wouldn't be a total addressable market of 15+ million vehicles here, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I want to make sure people understand this. The price points of Tesla's vehicles vehicles, compelling vehicles, are going to continue to plummet over time. By the end of this decade, Tesla will be able to produce a vehicle approximately as good as today's Model 3 and Y for maybe $20,000. Could be less, could be a little bit more. Some people won't believe this is possible, and I believe that you need to think more, do some homework, and then get back to me. This will happen. And assuming this does, we can see Tesla will have no problems selling 30 plus million vehicles per year. Remember, there is no competition and they're never catching up. And even in the worst case, Tesla will have no problems whatsoever selling 20 plus million vehicles per year if they make them. Now, you may argue, look, this ramp speed, it's completely unrealistic. It's just stupid, Stephen. Come on, dude. How high are you? And to that I would answer, yes, but that's not the point. The point is, we need to understand what exponential growth looks like. If we look, based on my assumptions here, the delivery growth rate, we're in 2022 now. This bull case, remember, bull case, is assuming year-over-year delivery growth of 88%, then 83, then 50, then 27, then 30, then 35, then 30, then 23, then 19, then 13. Tesla doesn't need to sustain stupidly fast growth for that long. A few more years, getting close to 100%, then down to 50, cut it to third, maybe 30%, give or take, and we're there. And I want to show you guys and girls what this looks like actually graphed out. This is what that production ramp would look like. This is how Tesla could theoretically get beyond 20 million vehicles produced by the end of this decade in a single year. Please show me on the graph where he touched, where things don't make sense. What's the point where it's no longer realistic for Tesla to continue increasing their production capacity? If they can get the materials and build the factories, they'll sell the vehicles. So what is unrealistic about this? I don't know. I really don't. Just because no one's ever done it before doesn't mean shit. The first time that anyone's ever done anything was the first time anyone had ever done it. No one had ever done it before that had happened, right? Get it? See? You can go around in circles with this argument. Now again, I want to be clear, this isn't a prediction. Tesla may miss the mark, they may get to 15, 17, maybe they'll get to 30 million by 2030. I don't know. But to suggest it's impossible and it'll never happen, you gotta be even higher than I am, dude. And that's really saying something. The moral of the story here is I think it's absolutely absurd to suggest it's an impossibility for Tesla to ever reach 20 million vehicles produced in a single year. This is just embarrassingly off the mark. Of course they could. It's not a matter of if, but when, and sure, maybe Tesla's aspirational goal, they don't quite get there. Just like they completely missed the mark with their 2014 prediction of producing 500,000 electric vehicles per year in 2020. Oh wait, they didn't. They nailed it, and that was despite a fucking pandemic. But anyway, that's totally irrelevant, right? It's not like people are laughing and saying there's no way this will ever happen back in 2014 and then it happened, right? Nah, that didn't occur. This time's definitely different anyway, because going from 1 million to 20 million, it's impossible. I definitely beg to differ. Tesla may miss the mark by a couple of years, that's fine. The point is, it's not only possible that Tesla will sell 20 million plus vehicles per year at some point in the future, it's inevitable. The real question is exactly when. 2030, 29, 35, 37, 42. It's not if, but when, in my opinion. Now, I acknowledge that I could be wrong, but I also want to acknowledge that I don't believe I will be. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Hope you guys, girls, have enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below. 1, do you think it's possible for Tesla to ever sell 20 million vehicles in a single year? And 2, if so, what year will they first do that? Finally, don't forget, if you'd like to see some more of the assumptions we just ran through here, my Tesla valuation model is available exclusively on Patreon to supporters at the investor level and above, so click the card in the corner or the link in the pinned comment to join. All Patreon supporters also gain access to well over 100 exclusive pieces of content, the ability to participate in future Q&As, loads of exclusive perks, plus all supporters at all levels gain up-to-date access to my Tesla stock price targets, which are built upon a foundation of my delivery and production estimates. So, see you over on Patreon. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan, this is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.